You're listening to the DreamApp Podcast. My name is Jesse Lyon, Chief Dream Scientist at DreamApp, and today I'm joined by @RealNateTurner. This is a guy who can literally control his dreams and has created a course in order to teach others how to do exactly the same thing. On this episode, we talk about the most dangerous things that you should never try in a lucid dream, how to improve your dreams, and we answer the question of whether or not cheating on your partner in a lucid dream still technically counts as cheating. I'm so glad you're here. I'm joined today by the real Nate Turner. Welcome, my friend. It's good to finally meet you online.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. We had that first little talk on TikTok Live that one time. And
yeah, you jumped in, man. That was super cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. So thanks for having me on. This is going to be awesome. Get to talk some dreams. I love dreams. So
dude, we'll talk about it, man. I found you because a bunch of people started tagging me in your videos. There's not a lot of really great like lucid dreaming content on TikTok, and you really fill that niche. Like I really only know like one other person who really does lucid dreaming stuff. The rest are like apps who are trying to sell you things.
yeah,
But like you really make a lot of content that like talks about how to do it, talks about what you can do, talks about things to like look out for, which is super awesome. And so people will like message me and they'll be like, "Hey, like, is this real?" I'm like, "Yeah, like everything Nate's saying like checks out, man." So that's awesome. How did you get into like lucid dreaming? How did that become your thing on TikTok?
Yeah, well, it started back in high school. I took a psychology class, and I was actually kind of forced to take the psychology class. I didn't really have any interest in it at first. And when I took the class, they had a section on the subconscious. And for some reason, the subconscious is so interesting to me. And it's interesting to a lot of people just because of how unknown it is. It's different for everybody. And it's literally something you can't really study. It's tough to study. And so I found that really intriguing. And we did this topic on dreams. And we didn't talk about lucid dreams, just normal dreams, REM cycles, stages of sleep, just kind of, normal science stuff. And
right.
Google must have been listening to me or the class because YouTube featured all sorts of lucid dream videos and dreaming videos on my thing. I was like, what is this? Like, that's weird. Never heard of it. A little bit skeptical of it. How can you control a dream? That makes no sense to me. So I watched the video. Yeah, I was so skeptical of it.
Right.
And so I watched the video and I was like, yeah, that's some BS. Move on. 6 months later, lucid dreaming comes back onto my page or my feed thing. So I was like, you know what? Let's try it. Might as well. Tried it. Didn't work. Tried it again the next night. Didn't work. Tried again the next night. Didn't work. Tried again the next night. Didn't work. Gave up. Another 6 months go by and I had one. And I was instantly hooked. Hooked, dude. My first one, I looked down at my hands and they were all jagged, weird looking things. And I look up and I wake up and it lasts like 5 seconds.
Oh, so it was like just a minute. Like you touched on lucidity and you look at your hand like, oh, that's fucked up. And then boom. But you had it. There was a moment there where you had it.
And then that instant rush, like, I don't know how we can feel emotion in our dream, but we can. And I felt that rush of excitement and I woke up. And ever since then, I've been hooked. And what's funny is, so I studied lucid dreaming for about a year, read a lot of stuff online, which kind of regret to this day because a lot of stuff online just isn't good information. And
man, everyone I talk to says that same thing. Like all this stuff online is really kind of garbage.
Yeah, it's not very good. After I talked to people that were pretty established in it and have, written books and really studied the topic, they're like, most of the stuff online isn't true. And which took me by surprise, but I started posting content actually in 2019, right before COVID. And I actually blew up. So my first TikTok account, I blew up doing lucid dreaming stuff and I got up to almost 900,000 followers. And people
I did not know that at all.
Yeah. Not a lot of people know it. I've had a couple comments here and there that are like, oh, I remember you from COVID. Because, everybody's sitting at home. Nobody's doing anything. Might as well try to lucid dream. I marketed that. I was like, look, you're sitting at home. You're not doing anything. You're sleeping all the time anyways. Try this. Try to learn this. And
that's what a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, they loved it. So I built this huge following, and
Uh-huh.
then it just kind of died off. People just didn't like it anymore. They weren't really showing my content anymore. My content got worse because I didn't really put in that much effort. I mean, it was kind of on me, but I ended up selling my account.
COVID did that to all of us, man. I
Yeah.
I didn't have much energy for anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I just kind of was like, you know what? This was fun. Great. Loved it. Love my
Yeah.
fans, but I can't. I'm done. I'm done with the pressure posting. I'm done with getting 1,000 views when I have almost 1 million followers. I'm done with this. So
Feel that. Yeah.
yeah. And like I'm not one to care a lot about that stuff, but you know, it kind of hurts when nobody's seeing your stuff after they just followed you to see your stuff. Like all these people are following me to see my stuff, but then nobody's seeing it. Why are they even following me? I would have rather just had less followers. So I ended up selling my account and started working a little bit. And then just recently I started posting again. And people are picking up on, I'm just so enthusiastic about it. I think people pick up on it. And if I can get people as enthusiastic about it as I am, who knows? I mean, we could change the world with it. I mean, lucid dreaming is just so cool. It's so useful.
Man, I super agree. And that's like one of the things that frustrates me. I was just tweeting about this the other day. Like people all the time will say dream life and real life. And I'm like, we gotta stop that, because like the things that you do in your dreams, like the experiences that you have, are just as much real experiences as your waking life. If not, I mean, to be honest, if not more so, because
Yeah.
you're dealing with your real deeper self, like your
Yep.
actual inside, not just like going to work and doing stuff. I mean, that stuff's boring, to be honest. When you're actually dealing with like your lucid dreams, your deeper self, your unconscious, that's pretty powerful. Like that's a real experience.
Very, very. And the thing about
Yeah.
lucid dreaming too is it's so private. It's true freedom. Because I just watched a podcast from a guy named Daniel Love. He's a big lucid dreaming content creator on YouTube. I think he's got 40, 50,000, but his fan base is pretty legit.
Pardon me while I write that down. Daniel
Yeah.
Love. Okay.
Daniel Love. Talk to him, man. He knows what he's talking about. He
I'm
took
gonna go search him up right now, man.
he took my content that I was posting that was wrong and told me it was wrong. Really, he shit on me for a whole podcast. Just watched all my videos.
Damn.
I'm watching this like, damn, like kind of hurts. And
Say,
so
fuck you, dude.
yeah, like, so I messaged him. I'm like, hey, like, if my stuff's wrong, you know, teach me what's wrong. And so he did. He's been critiquing stuff that I may have either over exaggerated, maybe information I got wrong. And so now with this new account, I'm hoping to actually promote correct, useful, non-biased information.
Wow, dude, that takes some real courage, strength of character, humility to like just get shit on like that, and then to go to the source and be like, "Hey, like, tell me what you're thinking here. Like, if I missed
Yeah.
something, I want to know." Like, damn, props to you, man. Like,
Yeah.
not a lot of people can do that. It's impressive.
Nope. And I was like, look, I want to talk. So he had me on his podcast actually a couple times, and we talked about it. He's a good guy to talk to. Great guy. Look up Daniel Love on YouTube, and great guy to talk to about lucid dreaming. He's been doing it for, I think, 40 years. Don't quote me on that, but since he was young.
That's cool. What were some of the big takeaways, like things that most people get wrong? Because I think, like for me, and I think for the rest of the audience, that would be really helpful to kind of know just some like big points that people usually get incorrect about lucid dreaming.
Yeah, there's this guy, another big YouTuber. His name's Explore Lucid Dreaming, and he's kind of the guy that I learned a little bit from. I think he's got over 1 million subscribers, but a lot of people followed his information, and he got some stuff wrong about techniques and put a lot of false expectation into people's heads. You know, dreams are all about expectation. If you expect something in the dream, it's bound to happen.
100%. That's how I got into it, because I had started my journey as a hypnotherapist. Like that's what I do. So suggestion, expectation is all hypnosis, and so it led itself into dreams. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, and one of the big things he got wrong is the wild and the dialed techniques are not actually techniques. The wild and the dialed are types of lucid dreams, and then the techniques fall under those categories. So wake-induced lucid dreams
That's
are when you're
fair.
awake and you fall
Yeah.
asleep and you see the transition. You
Yeah.
can kind of see it. I don't know if you've experienced one, but they're quite fascinating. I mean, the world literally
Not
changes around you into a dream. It's crazy.
Yeah, not personally, but I'd work a lot with like trauma and stuff. So a lot of
Mhm.
times people who experience trauma, really tense stress and anxiety, they'll have like those hallucinations where they fall asleep or like sleep paralysis. And
Yeah.
so I've worked with it and I've talked about it a lot, but never really personally. I thought lucid dreaming was just kind of like a fad, but the more
Yeah.
that I learned about it, I'm like, oh shit, like this is some stuff. So
Yeah. There's some
I'm soaking
true
up everything you're telling
useful
me.
Yeah, there's some true useful application for lucid dreaming, like with mental health, even some can
100%.
argue physical health. There's so much application. Spiritual health is big as well with lucid
Yeah.
dreaming.
I
Um,
I just did an interview with somebody that's up on YouTube where she studied. She's a in school studying PhD candidate. People who practice their sport in their lucid dreams and how they
yeah.
improve, how they get better. So
Oh
you're
yeah.
100% right.
Yeah, I've done it. Or just
Wow.
playing in sports where you want to be a star in. Like I wasn't good enough to play professional basketball or professional baseball. I wasn't good enough for that. So once
Sure,
I
sure.
graduated, once I was done actually playing the real thing, because I think people should obviously focus on making themselves better in their real life. Once I was done, though, I've had plenty of dreams where I was the star quarterback for an NFL team, or I stepped up to the plate in an MLB game and I hit a home run to win the game. Like these different situations in sports, because I'm obsessed with sports. So to put myself
Okay,
in that
okay.
situation and experience it as if it was real, because it felt unbelievably real. You got 100,000 people around you cheering. You go up, ball comes in, you hit it, home run, just massive amounts of cheering. It's an experience like no other. Like no
Yeah, I
other.
bet. Wow.
It's
Wow.
unreal, dude. I wish I could push that more, because it seems like right now lucid dreaming, the audience for it isn't athletes, isn't males. A lot more females like to do lucid dreaming stuff just for their spiritual connections or to meet
Yeah.
people or whatever. But if I can get it into like an athletic audience, which is what I'm going to try to do at first, I think there's a lot of athletes out there that want to experience what I experience. And I think it could be big. It's an untapped market.
Yeah, well, and I think it's been proven to be helpful too, like from the
Mhm.
stuff that I've read, like, just as much as like, hypnosis and the suggestion going into your unconscious helps improve performance. So lucid dreaming helps improve performance too. So it's not just like, hocus pocus or, a fad. Like there's some real like studied benefits to this stuff.
Mhm. And
Man.
the creativity as well. I mean, so many artists take music out of their dreams and put it in real life. Like a lot of music that you
Yeah.
hear sometimes comes from dreams. It's
I know
crazy.
Charlie Puth has talked about it a bunch. Like he's posted
Mhm.
several videos where he's talked about, I heard this riff in a dream. And so I, woke up, recorded it in my phone, went back to sleep
Yeah.
all the
Him,
time.
scientists engineer stuff inside of dreams. Um, just there's a lot of application. Artists create art inside of
Hmm.
dreams. There's a lot of application for it. And
Yeah.
once people realize that, I think it could be big, because not a lot of people know about what lucid dreaming is or how to do it or anything like that. Like a very
No,
small
no,
amount
they
of the
really don't.
population knows what it is. And
Hmm.
TikTok's huge right now because a lot of older people are getting on TikTok. And back when I blew up at first, it was all, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year olds. But
Pretty
now,
much.
the 30, 40, 50-year olds are on TikTok a lot. A
Yeah.
lot.
There's a broader audience, more buy-in, I think.
There's over
Yeah.
1 billion people on the app now.
It's
A
wild. That's wild.
billion.
I don't
One
know what
eighth
that
of the
number means.
earth.
That's crazy.
It's wild. And it's only
Man.
growing
Okay.
bigger.
So a big one that people get wrong is not really recognizing what's a technique and what's just a type of lucid
Yeah.
dream. So there's some techniques and then there's types, and really
Right.
kind of making sense of which is which. One of the things that people will often misread on the internet, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty big. Same with the idea that you can take a technique and try it that night and it would work.
Mm,
I was guilty of this too. A lot of clickbaity stuff out there, 99% success rate, like just all these clickbaity things where you just lay
yeah.
down and you play the piano. But there's just so much stuff extra that you have to do if you really want to successfully lucid dream as often as possible. A
Hmm.
technique, on any given night, you could have a 6, 7, 8% chance of having a lucid dream if
Really?
you're a beginner, talking about it, reading about it, attempting it. If you try a technique, that could bump it up to 10%. But if you're doing other stuff, getting healthy sleep, I think is super important. Um, Eat it, your diet, the environment you're sleeping in. There's so many external
Yeah.
factors that mess with our sleep. And if you're sleeping in a comfortable, semi-cold environment, then your brain
Hmm.
doesn't have to work on keeping your body regulated. It can focus on dreaming. So people
Okay, it's
get
got
that
some extra
wrong.
space.
Yeah. People get a lot of that
Yeah.
wrong. They just think if you try a technique, you could lucid dream. But if you're not sleeping well, you're not going to dream well. If you're not getting
So
8 hours
you'd
of sleep, you're not going to get multiple dreams a night. There's so much
yeah.
extra.
Huh. So you'd really say about 10%, like when you're first starting anyway.
Yep, yep. I'd say
Yeah.
once after maybe a year or two of really learning yourself and how you sleep, and maybe even tracking your REM cycle so you know when you dream, it could get up to 50-50 on any given night.
Okay.
Um, that's with a lot more experienced lucid dreamers, though. I didn't even get
Sure.
up to that point. Even in when I was talking about it all the time, I was having two a week maybe at most. So,
Okay. So it does take some real deliberate effort, and even with a lot of experience, maybe 2 a week.
yep, yep.
At
Even with
least
a
at
lot of
least your
experience.
experience.
That's me. Yep. I know
Yeah.
people that can do it every night without trying, and that's kind of not. It's just they didn't have to try; they were born with it. But then there's
Yeah.
people who really need to work, and I always compare it to the gym. Some people could go to the gym and eat no food and gain muscle, but then you have a
Mm.
lot of other people like myself. I have a fast metabolism. It's tough for me to gain weight. It's tough for me to gain muscle, and it takes me longer to get to where I want to be in the gym. And lucid dreaming is
Sure.
just like it. You need to build your muscles in your brain to lucid dream. It doesn't just happen overnight. It could
Mm.
actually, it could, but beginner's luck. I believe a lot in beginner's luck, and it just takes a lot of time, a lot of effort.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Man, so well, let me ask you this question. Do you think that everyone has the ability to lucid dream? Or do you
Yes.
think that okay, so you do believe everyone is capable of it. There may just be different sort of proclivities or like natural ability, but
Yep.
everyone's capable. This is accessible to everybody.
I believe everybody can. Uh,
That's cool.
a lot of people though just don't dream because they smoke weed. Maybe they eat a ton before bed. Maybe
Mm,
are uncomfortable when they sleep. Just like I said, so many factors can mess with your dreams. So many.
yeah. Well, because you're really connecting with a deeper part of yourself. And
Mhm.
so, like, if you start to change what's going on in here, your dreams are going to respond to that, you know?
Yep. And like I said,
Uh,
it takes a year, and you learn a lot about yourself in a year. If you switch
this is
stuff
true.
up, what you eat, how you sleep, where you sleep, um, even just the light that comes through the window, if you're sleeping
Yeah.
in this corner compared to this one, could change that. I mean, just minuscule stuff. But if you are recording over a year different experiments with your own sleep, you could learn a lot about how you sleep and get a lot better sleep.
Wow. Man, would you mind sharing? I don't if you don't want to, but like
Mhm.
what is your kind of routine? Like if you like, okay, tonight I need a lucid dream, I got to figure some stuff out. How do you set yourself up? And I know it's personal. Everyone's got to find their
Mhm.
own way, but could you maybe walk us through the steps that you take in order to set yourself up right?
Yeah. Um, if I want to try to have the best possibility of having a lucid dream tonight,
Yeah.
what I would do is throughout the day, multiple times a day, I would read lucid dreaming content. I would watch lucid dreaming videos.
Okay.
Really get obsessed with wanting to do it that night. As the day goes
Setting
on,
intention.
setting intention. Right
Okay.
before I go to sleep, I love to journal pre-dream journal. And what I do
Okay.
is literally to the minuscule detail, every single thing that I want inside my dream: smell, taste, sight, people, place, location, what I want to do, what I plan on doing.
Listing
Just
it
write
out.
it out. Yep. I
Mm.
This might be superstition, but I like to fold it up and put it under my pillow. And it seems I have more if I do that. If I put it under my pillow, maybe I don't know why it is, but just happens.
There's some suggestion to it. I mean, talking from the hypnotherapy perspective, there's a lot of like little quirky things that I'll do. And people think it's superstition, but it's not. It's just like the showmanship increases the intention.
Hmm. Yeah, it does. And I'll drink a lot of water before bed.
Ooh,
I'll try
yeah.
not to eat a whole lot. I'll drink a lot of water. Sometimes I'll wake up, and your body likes to wake you up before or after a REM cycle, because that's when you're in
Mm,
your lightest sleep. So it wakes you up
true.
to go to the bathroom. And then when you go use the bathroom, you come back, and then sometimes I'll read what I wrote down again and then try to go back to sleep, and just
Mm.
visualization. I do a lot of that too. Um, and that seems to work a lot of the time. Sometimes it doesn't, but that's what I would do if I really wanted to try tonight to lucid dream.
Okay. Okay. Setting things up. So there's a lot of work to this. I mean, it's not
Mhm.
necessarily work. Like you're not like sweating over it, but
Right, right.
it's deliberate and intentional. And that's the message that I'm really getting from you right now.
Yep. It's deliberate. 100%. I
Yeah.
could I could tonight try a technique that I don't usually try and have a lucid dream. I mean,
Mm,
the percentages change on any given night. So if you have a 7% chance, it's not like every 100 days you're going to have seven. You could go 200 days without having any, and then that last 100 days have 14 in a row.
mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
the percentages change. So if I try a technique that I've never done before and I have a lucid dream that night, that doesn't mean that technique technically worked. It just means
Sure,
that
sure.
tonight was that night to have a lucid dream.
Yeah, yeah. It was a good night. The stars aligned
Yeah,
metaphorically, you know?
the stars
Yeah.
aligned, literally. Yeah. But what I do now, it works the best for me. I think that I also think it could work really well for a lot of people too. Um, it's just not pushed out there. People don't push that kind of stuff out there. They just push techniques and instant gratification. And
Right. It's not
I'm
sexy.
no, it's not.
No.
And I'm gonna try and do what I can to move people away from that expectation, and hopefully people can just put in a day's work. I mean, it's
Yeah.
possible. So
Yeah. Nice. Well, and then, I mean, you've got your whole content online,
mhm.
lucidu.net,
Yep.
with like your whole 19 video course on like how to do it, setting up your mind to be ready to enter into a lucid dream and set those intentions.
Yep. I just launched that Friday. So that's
Oh,
been
I didn't know it was that
in the
recent.
works.
Nice.
Yeah, that's been in the works. And it's
Dude,
always
19
going to be
videos is,
changing.
yeah,
Yep.
that's a lot of work, man. That's some content.
Yeah, and it's only 19 right now because those are the 19 videos that I really wanted to get out first. But
Gotcha.
I'm always going to be adding to it. I only have 3 techniques up there. I don't have a whole lot for once you're actually lucid. I have kind of just the basics of once you get lucid, what to do to take control or to do what you want. But there's a lot more that I
Mm,
want to add. So it could get up to 30, 40 videos.
that
And
would make sense.
if you buy it, I going through this program called Vorks. You'll always have access to it, and you'll always have access to new videos that come out.
That's
So,
cool. I bet
mhm.
people really appreciate that.
Yeah, yep. It's going to
Yeah.
be awesome. And I think they're adding a feature too where there's like comments so people can interact with each other under the specific videos. And obviously, I can interact with people as well, just through the comments on the different sections of the course. So it's
Nice.
exciting to launch. It's exciting to finally get that out there.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. Man,
Mhm.
so another thought that I'm kind of having right now as you talk about it, since there is so much intention and so much like aligning of the stars that needs to happen, do you notice that certain emotional states make it difficult to have a lucid dream? Like if you're super excited that day, is it more difficult? If you're super depressed that day, is it more difficult? Like tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Um, this is another thing too that I think holds a lot of people back is stress. Um,
Oof.
Stress is so tolling on your body, and when you go to sleep and your brain's trying to repair itself and you just destroyed it the whole day by being stressed, I think that that can have such a negative impact on your ability to lucid dream.
Mm.
And I would say that it is easier if you're in a better mood to lucid dream.
Okay.
If you go to sleep
Positive
happy,
emotions.
I believe so. Uh,
Okay.
I I think we should definitely run some experiments on that.
I think we should. I think this
Maybe
will
we
be
could get
interesting.
some like students to like try and maybe, I don't know. I feel kind of bad like making them feel like shit before going to sleep to run this experiment. But we could try like a happy group and a sad group, and whoever remembers more of their dreams,
You
I
could just ask them
guess.
about their day. People naturally
Yeah,
have shitty days sometimes. And you're like,
true.
okay, well, so you had a shitty day today. Tell me how lucid dreaming works for you tonight.
True. It's inevitable. Everybody has a bad day every once in a
Everyone's got
while.
bad days, man. It's all right.
Mhm. It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I think that's a great mindset actually to have. And I think that's beneficial. You know what? Today was a
Yeah.
bad day. Tomorrow will be better. Let's get some sleep.
That's what I'm saying, man. A lot of times when I'm talking with people online, like through TikTok or through the app or whatever, um, people will really feel bad or negative or just kind of stressed out about having negative dreams. And people will be same thing with life, they'll be kind of upset or sad about having bad days, but everyone's got to have bad days. Everything's got to
Mhm.
balance out. And so I always tell people when they have dreams that are like really negative or even demonic or like being chased or
Mhm.
whatever, I'm like those are really good for you. They're
Yeah.
actually very, very helpful, and it's the process of your mind trying to heal. Like, it's gotta
Yeah.
let go of some of these feelings, it's gotta let go of some of that stress, and so, just because you have a bad dream doesn't mean that you did anything wrong, like, your mind just needs room to breathe, so, I always encourage people, like, those ones sometimes have the most depth of insight to them. Really value your nightmares, and that's been, like, one of my goals to tell people is really value those, don't shy away from them.
Yeah. And I do have a question because you do dream
Yeah.
interpretation and stuff. So
Yeah, a little bit of a
if
different side, right?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Would you do you interpret dreams just on a single night? Like if somebody just has a random dream one night, would that be interpreted the same as a reoccurring dream?
Yes and no. Mostly yes.
Okay.
So there's like an added depth of meaning to a reoccurring dream. Like if you're having the same dream over and over, it really means that this is a topic that your mind is really wrestling with, or really thinking about, or really struggling with. And usually it means that your brain is continuing to repeat that symbol until you get the message that's trying to send you. uh the your mind can't tell you things verbally. It can't be like, well, Jesse, you're really stressed at work, you need to like have better boundaries.
Yeah.
It's not gonna talk like that. It's gonna put you in the maze being chased by the boogeyman. Like that's how it's gonna communicate that same idea. And so if I don't
Right.
get that message and I don't take steps to make my life more balanced, less stressful, care for myself a little bit deeply, I'm going to see that dream over and over and over again until I get it through my head. Oh yeah, okay, I should probably should probably work on my mental health.
Yeah. I always found dream interpretation so interesting. Because correct me if I'm wrong, is dream interpretation a theory on, could it be a theory on why we dream, that our subconscious is sending us messages?
Mm. It's well, I feel like it's the same kind of explanation you gave with lucid dreaming. Like there's
Mhm.
types and then there's techniques, right?
Yeah.
So dreams having meaning is a scientifically researched, shown fact. Like we have shown,
Okay.
I mean, as much as science can prove anything, but we've shown
Right.
if you have trauma, you'll have trauma nightmares. If you have a stressful day, you'll have stressful dreams. Happy day, happy dreams. Kids have different dreams than, those who are older.
Right.
Men have different dreams than women, based on gender preference. That we know that. Now, the interpretation, there'll be different theories of interpretation.
Hmm.
Like I know some people who will only interpret in a series. So they want to get like 5 to 10 dreams from you in a series before they make an interpretation of these are the reoccurring themes in your mind. I know other people like me, I'm like, man, I may only have you for this 15 seconds. So let me absorb your dream and let me help you with what's going on right now. I may not get a series from you. So let me just help you with what I got.
Okay.
That's kind of my interpretation. I'm like, we live in such a fast-paced world. Let me just help with what I can. And then there's like psychoanalytics, and there's Freudian, and there's Jungian. Like, so there's different sort of nuanced styles. And I mean, in some ways, like just like being a therapist, it kind of is about my own personality too. Like one human being interacting with another human being kind of collaborates to create this creative process of interpretation. So there's
Yeah.
a little bit of the interpreter's human experience kind of injected in there as well.
It's quite interesting. How did you get into this stuff?
As a
We're gonna
counselor,
flip the roles here. We're gonna flip the roles. I'm gonna interview
I
you.
like it, man. Yeah. As a counselor, to be honest. So, I started my practice here in Florida. I've got a couple offices and a couple therapists who work for me. And so working a lot with trauma and then using hypnotherapy as a technique to help people with trauma, I noticed a lot of reoccurring symbols, reoccurring dreams, reoccurring nightmares. And okay, Google, show me what these things mean. And then there was no interpretations for them. There was no good content online, just like you're talking about with lucid dreams. So I'm like,
Yeah.
well, shucks, someone needs to make this. Like here I am, like trying to help my clients who are struggling with their traumatic nightmares, and there's no information to help them. So I started reading, I started looking into it, I started creating content, and I guess it's really connected with some people. Like it's shown some benefits. So I continue to do it. And here we are making
Yeah.
DreamApp, making TikTok content, making podcasts.
It's huge, man, because everybody experiences them. So when they come across
Yeah.
that video, it's not like people haven't had a nightmare or a dream where they're like, what does this mean? Especially with like, I always see your stuff. For some reason, whenever I scroll my For You page, it's always your stuff about exes. And I find that so fascinating because I get asked that a lot too. Like,
Tell me more,
why
Nate.
did
What's
I,
going on?
yeah, why did I dream? Hopefully Grace isn't watching this. Grace,
Hey,
don't watch this. But yeah, exes in dreams, like everybody that experiences that like has the same experience of like wanting to be with their ex, but they don't like understand what that means, and that's kind of where you fall in. And they see this video and they're like, "This is our guy."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I hope to be able to provide for people is like some relief and some, I don't know, just some peace about your mind. And even more than that, like, why would it not be that you get your dream interpreted every morning when you wake up, and then that informs how you make your decisions for the rest of the day because you had
Mhm.
an authentic connection with your real self while you slept, and it told you some things about what's going on inside your mind, what's going on inside your emotions, and then you use that information to make the right decisions for the rest of the day. Like so many people live their lives confused and unsure
Yeah.
about what decisions to make. Like how affirming and just confidence boosting is it to know, okay, this is what I'm going through right now. This is what I need to be focusing on. I'm ready. I'm prepared. Let's get the day.
That's quite interesting
Yeah.
because one of the things with lucid dreaming too, one of the things I've experimented with is actually living in the future and
Ooh. Tell me more.
like
Tell me more.
not living in the future in a sense of like sci-fi, but living in the future in a sense of like where I want to be in 10 years. Who do I want to be? Where do I want to live? Like, who do I want to be with? And I kind of just
Hmm.
let my dream take control of that. And it shows me like, I want to be successful in 10 years. I want to live on a beach and watch a beautiful sunset. I've seen this stuff
Oh
in my
yeah.
dreams.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people like that too, but living it and with how realistic it was motivates me more to want to get there because I experienced it inside of the dream. I
100%.
experienced my perfect life inside of the dream, and it made me want to just do it more and more in real life.
It's just like it. That's so exciting to hear you say that, because people who haven't experienced dreams like that or haven't experienced mental health like that, I just feel like it's an experience that you can't communicate. Like when
Mhm.
you've actually experienced like being set on fire and motivated to go get that thing that you experienced in a dream, people who talk about struggling with motivation or struggling with like really feeling energized for the day, I wish I could give them just a taste of how that feels,
Oh,
because like I just have so much energy throughout my day.
mhm.
Like, yes, like I'm getting after it. I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go do it because I've already done it. So like
Yeah.
I know the feeling. I know what I'm chasing after, and there's no questions in my mind.
Yeah. And what's even more rewarding is when you work all day and then you go to bed that
Mm.
night and there you are. There you are. You're in that world that you want to be in. And what's fun is, us as humans, we never stop chasing. Once we get to where we want something else. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
once I actually get there, because one day I will get there, I wonder what I'm gonna want when I actually get what I want. And I'm always gonna be using dreaming to do that, to communicate with myself and figure out what I want, because it could
Yeah.
always change. Wants are always changing.
Agreed. I think it's just a part of like human nature, like that's
Mhm.
how we are. We need to embrace it. But it does
Yep.
make me think of a question. I've got my own thoughts and theories, and it's one of those that science can't really tell us for sure. But when you're lucid dreaming and you're interacting with these elements and interacting with this stuff, do you think that's your creation inside that lucid dream? Or do you think that you're connecting and interfacing with either a deeper consciousness of yourself or a deeper collective unconscious or a deeper like astral plane almost? I guess, are you connecting with you and making projections, or are you connecting with something deeper? What do you think?
It's such a
Big
tough
question.
question to answer. Big question. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
I'm always so skeptical of, and I'm not disrespecting people that believe in astral projection, but
Sure,
I'm
sure.
I'm always skeptical of it because I feel like if it was real, it would be easy to prove. Same with a collective unconscious. If you set up
Mm,
an experiment and person A needs to read person B this inside the dream, and person B needs to read person A this, then when they go to sleep, they can collectively come together, tell them that, and then they can wake up and tell the experimenters what they just told each other inside the dream. And I think I'm sure there's been experiments on that. If not, then that needs to be jumped on like ASAP, because the idea of of a collective unconscious is so cool. Like, the idea of astral projection is so cool, where you as a soul can
yeah,
join
wild.
somebody else and do what you want on an astral plane anywhere in the universe, or
Like,
whatever
what?
universe you want to be in. Like, it's wild. But I'm a little skeptical of it scientifically, I guess. Like, I like facts and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
tough to get on board with that when there's been nothing proven on it, I guess. So to answer your question, after that little bit of a rant, I
I
think
like it.
that dreams are just kind of you created it. Maybe even if you believe a higher power created it, um, and overall you created it. It's your subconscious, and I think that it's just you connecting with your subconscious, um, through the dreaming world.
Nice, nice. Yeah, it's always been interesting to me. There's kind of some mixed studies. There's some that show like, there's no better chance of reading someone else's mind or communicating them certain information through a lucid dream than just by guessing. It seems to be about the same. But then there's other ones that seem like, well, they guessed or they got it right a little bit more than just guessing. So maybe there's some, but there haven't been any that's been like, oh yeah, every time they dream, this person gets it.
Yeah.
There hasn't been stuff like that. Otherwise,
Somebody,
we'd know about it.
yeah, somebody needs to like run experiments on like, I don't know how they ran them. I haven't really done a lot of research in the actual experiments being run. That's how I would set up an experiment for something like that. Maybe they did the same, but that needs to be done, because if that's true, that'd be a big eye opener for a lot of people.
Yeah, are you kidding me? That'd be crazy.
You can connect
crazy
subconsciously in a world where you can create what you want. Sounds great to me. I'm on board if it 100%.
That'd be so great. Okay, so maybe not like astral plane, collective unconscious, but do you think it, honestly, just opinion, I just want to know what your thoughts are. Do you think that when you create a lucid dream or when you enter a lucid dream, you're connecting with a deeper part of yourself that maybe you can't know outside of a dream? Or is it just like, you create what you want just like you are in your conscious awareness and you just project it into a dream?
In a lucid dream, I think it's the second one. You kind of create what you want. And non-lucid dreams, I think it really is your subconscious, like you do, sending messages. And I think the dream theory that I'm on board with the most is dreams are a survival instinct. A lot of the time they take what you experience in real life and processes it, and the way it processes it is how you dream. And
this is true. Yeah.
We're always faced with situations where our brain thinks it's life or death. And I think our dreams do a good job at keeping us alive. I mean, look at us. We've lasted this long as a human race. We're still here. All animals dream. They dream, and they take those situations too, and they dream about it. And it's just crazy to think that animals dream too, huh? Like, what do they even dream about? How do you, like, can we like figure out what they do? What do they dream about?
There's some interesting stuff coming out of Japan. They were actually able to kind of like, I don't know if you've seen that study. They're actually able to image, like take some images from a person's dream. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I read a little bit about it. It's quite fascinating.
So interesting to think that as we develop that, we could probably figure out what animals are dreaming. If we take what we know about our human dreams and kind of like extrapolate that to animals, it would make sense that animals are trying to process information that they've absorbed from the day and trying to come up with better ways to achieve their animal goals. So like if it's a rat in a maze, how can I run the maze better? How can I do these things better? If it's a dog, like, how can I chase my tennis ball faster or whatever, know?
My dog always used to dream, and I don't know if you have a pet, but he would like run inside of his. In
I've
real
got 2
life,
cats.
he'd run. Do they do that?
They do. Their little whiskers twitch, and they like start to make cats make this noise when they see something that they want to just like tear to shreds. It's this really cute like chirping noise, and they'll make that chirping noise while they sleep. So it's like, you hunting something there, buddy.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I don't think animals experience sleep paralysis the same way that humans do, but the whole intention of sleep paralysis, the reason we have it, is to keep us from acting out our dreams in the real world. True. And that's one of the other things. Big thing on the internet that is misinformation nightmare is sleep paralysis.
Tell me more.
So sleep paralysis, like I just said, you go to sleep, you get put in a paralysis state. Your brain does it naturally. It happens multiple times a night. I mean, we dream 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a night. Every time you go into a dream, you're in sleep paralysis. So you don't act that thing out. Most people just don't consciously experience it. And when you do,
you're asleep.
Hopefully. And when you're conscious of it, that's when stuff gets weird and you see things, you hear things, you are being pressed or touched or whatever is going on, whatever your sleep paralysis demon is doing.
That's my best friend.
Yeah, my best friend too. But it's completely natural, people. Like, You have nothing to worry about. You experience multiple times a night. If you can take control of it, it is the gateway to lucid dreaming. The easiest way to lucid dream is to be in sleep paralysis. The easiest way. So if you can get past the fear that it brings, because I mean, I experience it. It's scary. I'm not gonna lie. If you can get past it,
it's a weird sensation, man.
it's weird, dude, and it can get creepy. But if you can just get by it, remember it's fake. It's not real. You can turn it
And
into
nobody
a
ever
lucid
gets
dream.
stuck in it.
Nope.
You'll always wake up.
Just you saying that just gave me goosebumps by the amount of people that spread
Triggered.
that.
Or my favorite's like, oh, it's a demon. You're being haunted. You're being possessed. And I'm like, dude, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a spiritual leader.
Yeah.
But I do have a license with the Department of Health for mental health and sleep stuff. It's not a demon. It's sleep paralysis. Like, it's a condition. There's certain things we can do to make that better. And you're absolutely right. Like, when it comes to lucid dreams, very connected, sleep paralysis and lucid dreams. Because that's kind of, like you said, that gateway.
It's a gateway. It's like a mixed state of consciousness is what it is. It's so interesting. And it's the gateway. Don't be scared of it. There's nothing to be scared about. If you can sit there, get past all the stuff going around you, visualize, and just be patient, you will fall into that dream that you're visualizing. And I think a lot of people need to hear that rather than hearing, oh, if you get it, you're going to get stuck in the back rooms. And
oh my God, the back rooms.
Oh, God, dude. Yeah.
Stop.
It gives me PTSD talking about this because of the nonsense going around the internet, spreading such fearful things about sleep paralysis. What do you think's going to happen if you spread fear? People are going to be scared. It's expectation.
But you get views.
Yeah. I should
Fear creates views.
I should
just make everybody
turn
scared.
lucid dreaming into an absolute nightmare of
God,
fear.
Please don't. Just this rage, fear-fueled nightmare of an account.
I posted a TikTok that said, "Don't do this in lucid dreams," and I took it down because I went back and looked at it, and I was like, "Man, I'm really spreading some false expectations here. If I tell somebody don't do it, they're gonna have a negative reaction, and they're gonna have a negative expectation, and when they go to do it, it's not gonna be as fun." So now I'm trying to be really open-minded with people, and I just post stuff to do. I don't even post my experiences a whole lot because I don't want people to expect something. I want them to be truly open-minded about the stuff that I'm telling them to try.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, the story times are fun. Like when you talk about like what you've done in a lucid dream, that's pretty cool.
They are.
I mean, there's some stuff to that, but you've got a point. Like when you're interacting with someone's dreams, their mental health and lucidity, it's so influenced by suggestion. So if you're creating all these suggestions, or if someone's watching like a bunch of content on TikTok that's about like how scary it is, and you got to be careful of this, you got to be careful of that. Well, whether that's true or not, you're going to go in expecting the experience to be scary and dangerous. And so whether it is or isn't, it's going to be for you because that's what you're expecting.
Yep. And it's sad to see this stuff spread and see the stuff spread about talking to dream characters. That was like my biggest video that blew up. And
good one.
Thousands of comments. Don't do this. They'll turn on you. They'll start killing you. You'll get stuck inside the dream. It's like, how are you saying you'll get stuck if you're awake? The logic, I don't understand the logic.
Right? You're typing to me on TikTok right now, so something doesn't add up.
Something doesn't add up here. And if you tell somebody that their dream characters are going to attack them if they tell them this, what's going to happen inside the dream if they tell them that? Good chance that they get attacked. So why even say it? Why even say it? But people, they still do. And there's not much you can do about it besides try and spread the positive side of lucid dreaming. Positivity.
Exactly. From an interpretation perspective, though, I think it makes me chuckle. It makes me smile because it's very telling. Those people who have had those kind of interactions with their dream characters, your dream characters are all, like you said, a part of you, like they're projections of your subconscious. And so if your dream characters are getting a little feisty with you, you've got some internal conflict that you need to work out, my dude.
Yeah. You need to go out in the woods for a day or something and figure it
Yeah,
out.
clear your mind, my friend. Like let that shit go.
Eat some of those little mushrooms and go out in the
Yeah.
woods for a little bit and really connect with yourself. You want to talk about connecting with yourself?
Yeah, there you go. That'll really do it.
That'll take it to the extreme.
Yeah, it reminds me of so my wife is pregnant. She's in a second trimester. And so
Congratulations.
everyone, thank you so much. Everyone comes up and tells her unsolicited advice about being pregnant. And it's never good stuff. It's always the horror stories. Oh, I almost died giving birth. Oh, my child had this. It's like horrific shit. And I'm like, that's not helpful. Like, if it starts to happen for her, okay, great. You can kind of like help and kind of guide, but like everything's fine. All signs point to good. Don't be filling someone's head with like, well, you better be prepared. You might die. That's not helpful. Stop. Same thing with lucid dreaming. Stop filling people's heads with nonsense. But I don't know. Maybe it's a power trip people get from like inspiring fear in others or what. But it just, well, you can see I get all agitated.
Yeah, I can tell. One of the best things I ever heard, though, if you guys are listening to this and you want to become true lucid dreamers. So the idea of being lucid is being aware. The only way to become lucid is to be aware of your surroundings all the time. If you're constantly questioning reality, questioning what you're being told, you're truly lucid. And when you guys are seeing stuff on TikTok, because it's really easy to fall into somebody else's experience and then expect that experience for yourself. It's super easy to do that. But if you're skeptical of that kind of stuff and you're constantly questioning it, you're opening your mind up to a lot more than what you're expecting from somebody else. So the best thing I ever heard was if you're truly lucid, if you're a true lucid dreamer, you're constantly questioning everything. Question everything you're being told.
True.
And there's maybe not everything. Like there's facts. You shouldn't question facts. Maybe you could question the source of facts, but there's certain things that obviously you can't question gravity. But when you're being told something on TikTok, especially the internet, question it. Question everything, and you'll be truly lucid.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe even to take it a step further, correct me if you think I'm wrong, but even like questioning gravity, if you're trying to test reality and see if you're in a dream, like a true lucid dreamer will be like, well, I'm expecting gravity to keep me on the floor right now, but let me just test. Let me make sure gravity works. Let me jump real quick. Okay, I must be awake.
Yeah.
I didn't float off into space. But like a lucid dreamer would do that. They would like take a little hop and they're like, okay, I must be awake.
Yeah.
But they're testing reality,
No, that's awesome. I'm glad you said that and made that clear because you're right.
Yeah.
Question everything. I'm following you now. Question everything.
All of it.
Everything. All of it. Question everything that you think is real. Just question it.
It helps. It helps a lot. Yeah.
Well, the more you do it, the more likely you are to do it in the dream because you're doing it all the time in real life. And as soon as you do it in the dream, boom, you're lucid.
You're off. Okay. Well, I've got one last pressing question before we wrap up. In a video, you said that it is okay to cheat in a dream. I thought that was super interesting. Tell me about it. What do you think? Do you think it's allowed?
Hate for that?
I bet you did. And I love that so much, especially that you're willing to like press into that because it's a topic we should talk about. Like, what if you're lucid dreaming and you're like, man, if I could just have one more time with my ex, or like if I could just have one night with I don't know, whoever the hell.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
You can do things inside the dream without ruining what you have in real life. If you are miserable, you don't like your husband, wife anymore, but you can't leave. You got kids, you got a house, you got collective money, you can't leave. I mean, some people are in that situation where they mentally and physically cannot leave.
Yeah. There's
limitations. A world where can you go to be truly free and truly private and do what you want without anybody ever knowing? There's one place. Exactly. The
It's in your
mind, the
mind.
lucid dream, the mind, the thoughts. And so I created that because I think as weird as it sounds, because obviously cheating is really bad, it
Yeah.
can help. It can actually help a lot of people if you do it correctly and not in the real world. I think cheating in the real world is selfish. It's bad. But I mean, we're dudes. We have thoughts. Women think the same way. There's going to be times where you just want to do something with somebody else. And I think that a lucid dream is the best place to do that without ruining what you have inside the real world. Because it feels the same, feels exactly the same. It's how I've experienced it, and how I expect it to experience, or how I expect it to feel, is how it feels. And it's the real
You got a
thing.
point. Got a
So
point.
you can do it with people you want to do it with, celebrities, crushes, exes, whatever you want, and nobody will ever know.
Yeah.
You're private. You're
I
in
mean, I
your own
guess if
private
you put
world.
it that way, right? Like, if you need that release or something and you're thinking
Yeah.
about cheating, I would much rather somebody cheat in a dream than cheat in real,
Yeah,
like waking life, like that's going to be a problem.
absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a big problem, and it ruins a lot of relationships that don't have to be
Yeah.
ruined. So I think there could be application for that too. I mean, that's
Yeah. I'm curious. I guess for me, I wonder about, and I don't know if you've thought about this, but I wonder about someone creating a world or creating a fantasy that's like so enjoyable, so pleasurable, that they start to become depressed about their waking life. You know, I kind of wonder about that because it's almost like, at least in my head, we kind of need that balance of struggle and success, pain and
right.
happiness, because it balances us out. And like we see with, like, the super rich, the super wealthy who like have no needs, wants, or worries, they get depressed because there's no meaning to life anymore. There's no struggle. There's no, trial and accomplishment. I worry, or I wonder if lucid dreaming kind of taken to that extreme could cause that in somebody. I don't know.
Certainly a possibility. I haven't heard of I've heard of people that like get bored of it, which I think is important, honestly, because if it's taking
Hmm.
up so much of your life that you need to do it, I think if you get bored of it, it's probably helpful because then you can focus on real life. But I haven't heard of anybody that's taken it to the extreme to where they don't even want to be in the real world anymore.
Yeah,
Plus,
me either. I'm just speculating.
yeah.
True.
I mean, it's possible, but I think it's also impossible because you can only sleep so much. So you kind of have to be awake. I don't think
Hmm.
people really have a choice to constantly be inside of a dream world.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, well, you saying that makes me think, because your dreams are so much related to your physical body and like your health too, it seems like there would kind of be a natural balance, because if you start to get depressed about your waking life, stop taking care of yourself because you're always trying to lucid dream, your lucid dreams might start to go away. Like, you have to have some fulfillment in your waking life
Yep.
in order to kind of spawn those lucid dreams. So
Yeah.
maybe there's already a natural balance in place.
Yeah, I think so
Hmm.
too. Especially like you said,
Interesting.
you need to experience stuff to dream. Some of the best dreams I ever had was when I was in northern Minnesota and I didn't have my
Oh,
phone.
okay.
We would wake up and it was a camping trip. So there's this part of Minnesota, it's called the Boundary Waters. And there's like
Hmm.
1,000 lakes and there's like a bunch of hiking. And what you do is you carry a canoe with all your survival food,
Oh, it's
backpack,
intense.
tent. It's intense. And you carry
Jeez.
all this stuff and you do like a route and you try to survive. So we did 7 days, no phone. You're in the middle of nowhere. There's no
Damn.
sounds. There's no light. Like it's at night, it's pitch black. All
Yeah,
you
when
can
you're
hear
out
is
there.
bugs. Yeah. And so every
Yeah.
night, every day, I would wake up, eat breakfast. We would fish, we would canoe, we would hike every day. It was a very simple life, honestly. And
Mm.
then I would read in between and get my mind going. And every night I had the most vivid, crazy dreams because of what I was experiencing and what I was reading about. I think
Wow.
played a massive role But a lot of people just
Wow.
sit there and they scroll on TikTok and they consume the same Family Guy content all day, and whatever clips you guys
You're
are
calling
on
me out,
recording.
Nate. You're calling me out.
Family Guy's everywhere, man. But they're experiencing the same things every day. They're seeing the same friends post different photos, but it's the same idea of just scrolling and consuming the same content. And I really push reading books as well to really stimulate your mind before you sleep, and it can help a lot with dreaming.
Very good. Yeah. A lot of good research behind that too. Like reading is so great
Mhm.
for your mind before bed.
Yep. And I don't really like to read. That's why I journal before bed instead. I take like 15, 20 minutes and write it out. And it stimulates my mind, gets me a little bit creative before going to sleep. And I mean, I do too much stuff during the day to be on my phone all day anyways. But I think that's one of the major factors as well, is people aren't experiencing new things enough.
I like it. I like it. Wow. That's incredible.
Mhm.
Man, well, Nate, I feel like we could talk for a whole nother hour, but this has been fantastic, man. Thank you so much. I would
We'll do
love to
another one.
know, dude, definitely, definitely. Everyone listening, let me know in the comment section down below. Super curious because I think it's a great topic to kind of go off of. Do you think it counts to lucid dream cheating? Is that against the rules? Is that in the rules? Is it okay? Not okay? I'd love to know the comments down below. Let me know. But Nate, for everything, thank you so much. They can check you out on TikTok at Real Nate Turner, or they can check out your website, lucidu.net, LUCID, the letter U.net, and check out your whole video series. Man, thank you again so much. Best of luck to you, man, and starting the whole TikTok journey all over again, man. I didn't even know that about your journey.
Yeah, second time will be way bigger than the first. So
Loving
it's
it,
going to be
dude.
exciting.
I love it. I love it. Dude, well, until we meet again, man, thank you so much. Take it
Yeah.
easy.
Thanks a lot, man. Have a good one.
Bye.